Today we'll study Newton's law of gravitation. Now you all know that Newton had seen an apple falling down. The questions that arose were, if the force of gravity is being exerted on objects on earth, then what is the origin of that force? Newton's realization was that this force must come from the earth. He further realized that this force must be what keeps the moon in its orbit. Newton proposed that a force of attraction exists between two masses. This force law applies to point masses, not extended masses. However, the interaction between two spherical masses is the same as if the masses were concentrated at the centers of the spheres. So, Newton gave a law which is known as Newton's law of universal gravitation. He said every particle of matter in the universe attracts every other particle with a force which is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of their distance between them. According to Newton's law of gravitation, every particle in the universe attracts every other particle with a force whose magnitude is directly proportional to the product of their masses. That is, F is proportional to m1 into m2, where m1 is mass of one body and m2 is the mass of another body. And his law also said that the force of attraction is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between their centers. That means if the distance between the masses m1 and m2 is r square, then F is inversely proportional to r square. On combining the equation F proportional to m1 m2 and F inversely proportional to r square, we get F is proportional to m1 m2 upon r square. So we get F is equal to G into m1 m2 upon r square. Now what is this G? G is constant of proportionality and is called universal gravitational constant. So remember the word important, it is universal gravitational constant. The word universal is important over here. Now what does this word imply? The word universal implies an assumption that its value is the same anywhere in the universe. And the word constant implies that it does not vary with time. That is why G is called universal gravitational constant, because it is unaffected by anything. Its value will always and anywhere remain the same. Now children, we already know that F is equal to G m1 m2 upon r square. If you consider m1 equal to m2 equal to 1 and let's take r equal to 1, then what do you get? We get F is equal to G into 1 into 1 upon 1 square. That means F is equal to G. So, what we can say? We can say that the value of G is numerically equal to the gravitational attractive force between two objects, each of unit mass and separated by a unit distance. So children, to define G, what have we considered? We have considered the mass m1 equal to m2 equal to 1, and we have considered a situation in which the distance between the two masses m1 and m2 is also 1. When we substitute these values in the formula, then we get F is equal to G into 1 upon 1 square. That means we get F is equal to G. So we can say the value of G is numerically, from here we get the value of G is numerically equal to the gravitational attractive force between the two objects. But when is this? When each of mass is 1 and the distance between them also is 1. So we say the value of G is numerically equal to the gravitational attractive force between two objects, each of unit mass and separated by a unit distance. Now let's see what is the unit of G. Now let's change the subject. We'll get from this formula, if you rewrite this formula, then what are we going to get? We'll get G is equal to F R square upon M1 M2. Now you all know the units of all these quantities. Now what will be the unit of G will be unit of force into unit of distance square upon unit of mass square. That means I'll have G is equal to Newton, that is the unit of force, into meter square, this is the unit of distance, upon kilogram square, this is the unit of mass, or this can be written as Newton meter square per kilogram square. So this is the SI unit of the value of G. Now the accepted value of G happens to be 6.67 into 10 to the power of minus 11. This was first determined by Henry Cavendish. He used a sensitive torsion balance to find the value of G. So now the accepted value of G happens to be 6.67 into 10 to the power of minus 11 Newton meter square per kilogram square. Now, the law of universal gravitational is the inverse square law. That is, if the distance doubles, the force drops to 1/4 because you square the distance. Similarly, if the distance triples, the force drops to 1/9, and if the distance increases 10 times, then the force becomes divides by the 100. What is the importance of universal law of gravitation? This is one of the fundamental forces in nature. The concept of gravitational force is very important in nature because it can successfully explain several phenomena which were believed to be unconnected. Some such examples are: the gravitational force holds the solar system together, holding the atmosphere near the surface of the earth, the flow of water in the rivers, rainfall, snowfall, motion of the moon around the earth, occurrence of tides. All these phenomena are very successfully explained on the basis of universal law of gravitation. Now let's consider what is acceleration due to gravity. Acceleration due to gravity is the acceleration that is gained by an object due to the gravitational force. That means the force exerted by the earth. Its SI unit is meter per second square. It is the same as the unit of acceleration which you have studied. It has magnitude as well as direction. So if any physical quantity has a magnitude as well as direction, it becomes what? A vector quantity. We represent acceleration due to gravity by the symbol g. Its standard value on the surface of the earth at sea level is 9.8 meter per second square. Its computation formula is based on Newton's second law of motion and Newton's law of universal gravitation. Now let's find out what is the relationship between capital G and small g. Capital G means universal gravitation constant and small g is acceleration due to gravity. For this, let's consider m to be the mass of the earth, and this symbol will represent the mass of an object on the surface of the earth. G, you already know, is acceleration due to gravity on the earth's surface. And what is r? R will be the radius of the earth. So you can see that we have this earth, right? And here we have a body with mass m on the surface of the earth. The distance between the mass and the earth will be taken as equivalent to the radius of the earth, that is r. Now weight of the object, you know, the weight of the object is what? The gravitational force acting on it. Now we can say that means weight of the object is equal to gravitational force. How can you calculate the weight of the object? By using Newton's second law, which says F is equal to ma. So the weight of the object will be written as F is equal to mg, isn't it? And when I apply gravitational law on the earth, between the earth and the mass, m, then you will have F is equal to g m upon r square. Obviously these two forces are equal, so you will have mass eliminated on both sides and you will get G is equal to mgm upon r square. We can substitute the value of G, m and r and calculate the value of this G, isn't it? The value of G is known to us, the mass of the earth is known to us, and the radius of the earth is also known to us. When we substitute these, we'll get the value of acceleration due to gravity as 9.8 meter per second square. Now children, G and G, both are G. Capital G means universal gravitational constant and small g is acceleration due to gravity. These two are distinct identities in physics. Let's see what is the difference between the two. In terms of symbol, if you talk of acceleration due to gravity, then the symbol is G. Universal gravitational constant, the symbol is capital G. Now let's come to the definition. The acceleration experienced by a body under free fall due to the gravitational force of the massive body is acceleration due to gravity. The force of attraction between two objects with unit masses separated by a unit distance apart at any part of this universe will be capital G. Now let's see, the value of G will change from place to place, and on earth its value is taken as 9.8 meter per second square, whereas the value of gravitational constant will be constant at any point in this universe, and the value is taken to be 6.673 into 10 to the power of minus 11 Newton meter square per kilogram square. The unit in which G is measured is meter per second square, and the unit in which capital G is measured is Newton meter square per kilogram square. Now we need to distinguish between the two words mass and weight. In everyday language, people talk about weighing ingredients, their own weight, the weight of a baby. In each of these cases, they are actually talking about mass, which is measured in kilograms. Then what is weight? We'll get to that. Now, have you ever wondered what's it like to walk on the moon? Or why does my stomach lurch in a lift? The answers for both are linked to gravity, and the following activity which I am going to tell you will help to answer these questions. Now, what you need to do? You need to take two objects of different masses. You can take any objects. Here, I've just randomly chosen a book and a pen. Hold them at exactly the same height. Then, release the two objects at exactly the same time. Watch and listen carefully. What happened? How many noises did you hear? And what does this tell you? I'm sure you heard one loud noise because they must have banged at the same time. Now children, you know there is an equation linking initial velocity u, time t, displacement s and acceleration a, which is what you see over here as s is equal to ut plus half at square. Now you had taken both the objects at a same height, so s will be the same. You had dropped them, so basically initial velocity is same, that is 0, and time in which they reach the ground is also the same for both. So when you apply this equation to both of them, the value of a, which is also g, is going to be the same. So what can you say about the acceleration for each object? That it is same, and this acceleration is called the acceleration due to gravity. Now, what is weight? Weight is a force and is measured in newtons. To calculate the weight of an object, we use Newton's second law, F is equal to ma. Acceleration due to gravity is 9.8 meter per second square. So to find the weight of a person whose mass is 60 kg, what will you do? Yes, you will write weight is equal to 60, that is the mass. You will be using this formula to find the weight, F is equal to ma. So here this is the mass and this is the value of a, that is g. So 60 into 9.8, that means the weight of the person is 588 Newton. Now, a very important thing to ponder over, is gravity always the same everywhere on earth? What do you think? Just ponder over, is the earth a perfect sphere? Acceleration due to gravity isn't the same everywhere on earth because earth is definitely not a perfect sphere. It is slightly flatter at the poles and bulged at the equator. So, the value of g is more at poles than at equator. Now, let's distinguish between mass and weight. So, here the differences between mass and weight are given in a tabular form. The property on the basis of which we will be distinguishing the two is given in the second column, and then you have mass and weight. So, as far as the definition is concerned, what is mass? Mass is simply the measure of the amount of matter in a body, and weight is the measure of the amount of force acting on a mass due to acceleration due to gravity. Denotation, we denote mass by capital M and weight by capital W. Now, what kind of formula can we use? Mass can be calculated by using mass is equal to volume into density, whereas weight is calculated by using the formula weight is equal to mass into acceleration due to gravity. Also, you'll remember that mass is always constant for a body, right? Because a body will have a particular volume and density, whereas weight is going to be different since it is going to be depending upon the value of G. Then quantity type. Mass is a base quantity. Do you remember studying fundamental units? And weight is a derived quantity. Mass has only magnitude, so it is a scalar quantity, whereas weight has both magnitude and direction, therefore it is a vector quantity. Now, for the unit for measurement, SI unit of measuring mass is kilogram, whereas the SI unit of weight is Newton. What is the gravitational effect? Mass does not depend upon gravity and is constant everywhere, whereas weight is dependent on gravity and so it varies from place to place. Just now you had seen that the value of G is more at poles and less at equator. That means when we take a body on the surface of the earth, it is going to weigh more at poles and lesser at equator. Then remember, mass can never be zero, whereas weight can be zero when there is no gravity like space, and it will also be zero at the center of the earth where the value of G is 0. The instrument used for measuring mass may be a beam balance or a lever balance or a pan balance, whereas weight is measured by using a spring balance.